Hey, have you seen the latest earnings report for BSE? It looks like they've had a pretty interesting quarter.
Oh, the Bombay Stock Exchange. Yeah, I glanced at it. I mean, they're the oldest stock exchange in Asia, right? What caught your eye?
Wait, well, for starters, their market capitalization is huge, like $5.19 trillion. I mean, that's a lot of money changing hands.
Absolutely. That's a testament to the number of companies listed and the overall investor confidence. It's like a giant economic thermometer.
Exactly. And get this, they have over 204 million registered investors. That's a massive reach.
Yeah, that's impressive. It shows how many people are participating in the Indian stock market these days. Actually, it kind of makes you wonder, how does BSE make money?
Well, their revenue streams are pretty diversified. Transaction charges are a big part, but they also make money from services to corporations, treasury income, and even investments.
So not just from trading, but also from listing fees and data services, right? Like a toll booth and a data provider all rolled into one.
You got it. Now, digging into the financial highlights, their consolidated revenue for the 9 months ended December 2024 was 23,287 million rupees. Not bad at all.
That's a solid number. How does that compare to previous years? And what about their bottom line?
Their consolidated net profit for the same period was 8,315 million rupees. Compared to last year, it seems they're doing quite well.
Nice. It sounds like things are on the up and up. Any standout segments in terms of performance?
Equity derivatives are definitely a highlight. Their average daily turnover has been increasing steadily. I mean, it's like everyone's suddenly trading options.
Derivatives can be a bit of a double-edged sword, though. High risk, high reward, right? But it's good to see growth.
Right. And their BSE Star mutual fund platform is also doing great. They've got a huge network of distributors and are covering a lot of ground.
So they're making it easier for people to invest in mutual funds. That's a smart move, expanding access like that.
Exactly. They're also focusing on expanding services like book building for IPOs and new bond platforms, basically trying to be a one-stop shop for fundraising.
That makes sense. Diversifying their offerings protects them from relying too heavily on just one area.
Speaking of which, BSE's International Financial Hub, India INX, seems to be gaining traction too. They offer access to a bunch of global exchanges.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. They're trying to compete internationally, right? Like the little exchange that could.
Totally. Now, something that stood out to me was their acquisition of a 50% stake in AIPL, making it a wholly owned subsidiary.
What's AIPL and why is that significant?
It's Asia Index Private Limited. This gives BSE more control over their index services.
Okay, so they're consolidating their position in the index space. Got it. So, what's their strategy for future growth?
They're focused on increasing market share across all segments, innovating with new products, and expanding their reach. Oh, and guess what? They're planning to divest their holding in BSE Institute Limited.
Interesting. So, they're streamlining their business and focusing on core operations. That could free up capital for other investments.
Exactly. And they seem to be pretty shareholder friendly. They've been paying out dividends and even doing share buybacks over the years.
That's always a good sign for investors. Shows they're confident in their future prospects. Do we know anything about dividends specifically?
Well, for 2024-25, they've already declared dividends of 2,060 million rupees. We would need to check with BSE for the specific record and payment dates.
Right, the devil's always in the details with those dates. This is all great info, but what does the auditor's report say?
The auditors, SR Batleboy and Company LLP, conducted a limited review and didn't find any material misstatements. So that's reassuring.
Good to know. Everything's on the up and up. So, what's your overall take on BSE's financial health?
Well, their total income has increased, which is a great indicator. For the quarter ended December 31st, 2024, it was 83,542 lakhs compared to 43,135 lakhs in December 2023.
That's a pretty significant jump.
Exactly. And net profit attributable to shareholders has also increased for the 9 months ended December 31st, 2024. It was 83,147 lakhs. This is compared to 67,135 lakhs for the corresponding period last year.
So overall, positive trends across the board. What about expenses? Any cause for concern there?
Expenses have increased as well. Regulatory contributions especially increased due to some issues with how SEBI calculates regulatory fees from turnover of options contracts.
That sounds like it could be a headache for them.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. But overall, their revenue growth seems to be outpacing their expense growth.
Okay, that paints a pretty positive picture. Any specific risks or uncertainties mentioned in the report?
They mention competitive landscape, stakeholder preferences, economic and political conditions, and regulatory changes as potential risks. Standard stuff, really.
Right, got to cover those bases. So, based on all this, would you say BSE is a good investment?
Well, I am just an AI bot. I would advise investors to check with certified experts before taking any investment decisions.
Always good to have that disclaimer. But putting that aside, what's your overall assessment of BSE's financial health and future outlook?
Based on the data, they seem to be in a strong position with diversified revenue streams, growing profitability, and a shareholder friendly approach. The numbers look solid.
It sounds like they're doing a good job adapting to the changing market dynamics. So, to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways for shareholders?
Keep an eye on those dividend announcements, especially the record and payment dates.
And remember, analysts need to understand BSE's diversified business model, its growth in equity derivatives, and that regulatory fee issue with SEBI.
Exactly. It's like they're building a financial services empire, brick by brick.
Haha, nice analogy. Well, this has been a really insightful look at BSE's latest earnings report. Thanks for breaking it down for me.
My pleasure. Always happy to dive into the numbers.
Hey, if you're enjoying our analysis, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful discussions.
Definitely. We're on YouTube, X, and Facebook, so give us a follow. So, what companies should we cover next?